Christmas 2019 Drone Buyer's Guide, $500 and under. Got that coming up next. The other night, Marcus Crawford, Ron Braun, and I hosted Rotor Talk Live. The subject for the evening was the 2019 Christmas Drone Buyer's Guide. Today, we're going to go ahead and look at drones that are $500 and under. So without any further ado, we're going to roll that clip in its entirety. So tonight, what we're going to do tonight is something different. What I wanted to do was go over a series of drones that Ron, Marcus, and I have either flown or owned or both, and give you our opinions of them as a guide for Christmas, for buying the season. Because I know a lot of people, put out like a drone buyer's guide. And I thought, what a better way to do it than to ask two of the best experts on YouTube about some of these fantastic drones here. So without any further ado, we're going to go to the first one. Now I'm going to share the screen, and then we're going to flip back here. Now, you're going to excuse my handy dandy graphics here. I threw these on a Word doc last night. Okay. Now the first one here, near and dear to our heart, from all members of Xeno Nation. Okay. We're going to talk about the Hubsan Xeno. Now it's currently $299 at Banggood. I didn't do an exhaustive search last night, guys. I didn't get into the spreadsheet like Marcus does, but I went out and that's what I saw off the top of my head. Okay, $299 for this drone. Ron and Mark, and we're not talking about the Pro. We're just talking about the regular Hubsan Xeno. Gentlemen, you both have owned it. You both have flown it. What's your opinion of the Hubsan Xeno?
Well,
I'll let Ron go first.
Oh, thank you, Marcus. I'll just add in that the price is like the stock market. That price could be different every day you look at it on the Xeno, but the prices were hurt by the tariffs. I mean, before the tariffs hit, you were seeing the Xeno in the low 200s. I mean, I've seen it 225 or lower before the tariffs hit. Now the price seems to be bouncing back up a little bit again. And when you see those tremendous deals on Banggood and GearBest, if you click all the way through, it's usually not for U.S. customers. So the Xeno is a little bit more expensive than it was a couple months back, but it's still a solid drone. Great for beginners. It's still probably the cheapest entry level drone with a 4K camera and a combination 3-axis gimbal, and that actually provides a good quality video. So I still think it's the cheapest way in the market for a good camera drone. But since the price has edged back up to $299, now it's only $100 lower than the Mavic Mini, which kind of makes it a tougher sell because even though the Xeno is a fine drone in its own way, it has the downside that it takes you forever to get it shipped from China if you have to have it shipped from China. If you can get a U.S. warehouse, and that takes that out. But you also, the problem is you have virtually very little support for it from either the person that sold to you or Hubsan, where with the Mavic Mini, you have support from DJI and the retailer you bought it from, say Amazon or Best Buy. So I'm going to throw it to Marcus at this point.
Okay. So you guys are going to need to have patience because, as you know, I have a lot to say about the Xeno. That's why I let Ron go first. Listen, so I've got a little confession to make. When the Mavic Mini came out, and I told this to Ron, I said, listen, guy, I don't know. This is making the Xeno obsolete for me, this Mavic Mini. I'm thinking, am I going to be flying the Xeno much now that I have the Mini? What I found out is, yeah, the answer is yes, I'm going to still be flying the Xeno. There are many things that it does better than the little Mavic Mini. Both great drones, love them both. But the Xeno, for instance, the orbit mode, and it has more intelligent flight mode features, and it has a good, solid Wi-Fi connection. Yeah, the range is only 1 kilometer, but within that kilometer, it's a very, very solid connection. it's just a good, solid, reliable drone. And like Ron says, the price changes. The tariffs evidently have made a difference. I thought I saw it on GearBest. I think you could get it in the U.S. for $249, but don't quote me on that, because the prices have been changing a lot. And the other thing that I will say about the Xeno is, whoever buys that drone needs to have. I'm not even saying they need to have technical ability, but they have to have the ability to follow instructions. And that is to say, it doesn't automatically do the firmware updates and stuff like other drones do. And like I said, you don't have to be a big technician to do it, but you do have to be able to follow instructions and do things in a certain way. And if you're comfortable with that, at that price point, it's an amazing piece of technology and does a lot of things really well. And that 4K camera is really, really good on that thing. And they developed it beyond, I think, what for sure I know either Ron or I thought possible. So anyway,
Marcus, to throw in one last thing, that you also, if you want to do the updates, you're going to need a Windows-based computer.
That's a good point. You will not update with, and that's an issue, Ron. I'm glad you mentioned that, because a lot of people that buy that drone, they may not even have a computer. They've just got a mobile device of some kind, and you can't do those updates.
Marcus, can we clarify for the people out there? I know we didn't. I don't want to segue to the Xeno 2, but does the Xeno 2 update with the phone?
You're talking about the
Xeno Pro. Sorry, the Pro.
Yeah.
The Xeno
Yeah.
Pro. Does that update with the phone app?
My understanding is the Xeno Pro can do its own updates through the app. Don't quote me on that, though. I am not 100% positive. So if there's anybody in the chat that has
if Grill Man shows up, we'll get him to comment.
Well, and in fact, True Drone Reviews is out there. Brian's out there. He would know. But I thought I was told that, yeah, it updates through the app, which is a good thing.
Right.
All right, gentlemen. Is this a good buy for Christmas? Thumbs up.
I would say down. I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Well, again, I'm going to say yes with a hedge, because if you're giving to somebody that never owned a drone before, they're not going to be used to the fact that they have no support or service outside of joining Facebook groups and whatever. So that's going to throw some people off. They're not going to be. And again, if they get a bad one under the tree, not being able to call and get it replaced is going to be a problem. So, in other words, Bill, the old saying, buyer beware.
Okay. All right.
Good point.
Move on to drone number 2 here for the night. Okay. Now I know this one's near and dear to
Hold
Marcus.
it, Bill. You didn't give us your opinion, brother.
My well, you know what? Okay, my opinion is based on your opinion, because that happens to be a drone on this list that I have not flown or touched or have seen. Okay. But I am anxious. I would love to fly one. And if it were in the budget, I'm probably going to wait. And I'm probably going to wait for when the 2 comes out, because I like the ability, being able to update on the app and some of these other things. Not that I can't follow instructions. I think, and I think DJI's kind of got us spoiled that way. Okay. As far as that's concerned. Now this drone that we're going to talk about here, and I definitely have an opinion on this one. Okay. So let's go ahead and get this shared. Now I know this one is near and dear to Marcus's heart.
Oh,
it's the FIMI X8 SE, currently at $438 at Alibaba. That was the lowest price I could find when I did a quick search last night. Okay. Now, I know Ron doesn't have it, and I don't have it, and we know our friend Marcus has it. And Marcus, the first thing I got to ask you is this, okay? You had, it was right out of the gate. I think it was your first flight, and you had disaster happen.
Oh my God, yeah. It a prop came apart and it crashed. I was very, very fortunate. It was about probably 20 feet off the ground, and as it crashed, it tumbled onto soft grass. So it really didn't damage anything other than the bad prop. So that was a really kind of an auspicious start to my relationship with the FIMI X8. And much like the Hubsan Xeno, that drone was pretty raw at first. The firmware wasn't complete. A lot of the functions of the drone didn't work as advertised. But what I'll say about FEMI is kind of like Hubsan. I think they were kicking out firmware updates even faster than what Hubsan did. And the FEMI updates automatically through the app. So it's really kind of a painless way to do it. And it has evolved into just a really phenomenal piece. I really like that drone. And at the price, I've actually seen it. I think it was either GearBest or Banggood had it for like $408, Bill. And I went and looked, and it would ship to the U.S. So.
Okay. Well, one of the things, and I'll let Ron comment on this too, because I'm sure he does have an opinion. There have been a lot of incidents of this falling out of the sky for other customers, and your friend, what's his name?
Kolsky Drones had an issue.
Kolsky Drones had an issue with it.
Bermuda Bob and better off with the drone.
Well, that's the Xeno I think you're talking about.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I switched to Xeno. Sorry.
Did Al Duran have it when his
Al Duran had one fall?
Yeah, that's the one I saw. That's the one I was thinking of too.
There's a point to be made there. He did have aftermarket props on it, so.
Okay.
I don't think we've really determined what happened there. But to your point, there have been a number of issues with it, and so that's just a good point to bring up. There are people that have had problems.
Ron, what's your thoughts about the FEMI X8?
Well, I may be getting one in here for review in the near future, so I'll be able to give you more thoughts later on. I do just want to throw a couple things in. Much like the Xeno, that price you could have put up could change by the day. Again, like stock market, every time you look at that, the price may be different. So, it could go anywhere from what Mark is about, a little over 400 to over 500 or whatever. You can see the price difference by almost $100. And by Marcus's strong review and some other people, that may be the pick if you can get it just a little bit above $400. But we come back in the same thing as the Xeno when you compare this. I hate to bring the Mavic Mini up early, whatever, but for about the same price as the Mini, you could get the FEMI for just a little bit more, and you get a lot more on the spec sheet than you do in the Mini, but you lose that reliability and that thing that, if you have an issue, you can return it easily or whatever. So, I mean, here's I'm just asking a hypothetical because I don't want to not put anybody in a spot, but how, in terms of dollars, how much is that worth? The ability to easily return a product or whatever, or a drone. How much do you factor that in? Is that $50 worth of goodness, $100 worth of goodness? That's what somebody has to come up with. How important is the ability to easily return a defective drone? And again, I'm not asking to put a thing. That's just something everybody has to keep in mind. How much is that worth it to them?
That's true. And I think Ron brought up a good point with the Xeno. Okay. And because I want to get some recommendations here, and then we're going to move on to our next drone. Keep in mind, when you're dealing with companies like GearBest and Banggood and, these companies in Alibaba over in China, their customer service is, let's just be blunt, it's non-existent. Okay. And if you get a dud, if you get one Christmas morning, open it up, fire it up, everything, and it's a dud, okay, then, it's a long process to try to get another one. All right. So,
in other words, your loved one's going to be very disappointed.
Right.
For a long time, your loved one's going to be disappointed.
Absolutely. So, here's mine. I'm gonna say for me right now, I would say I'm kind of like I'm going to be neutral on this one. I can't say I'm going to recommend it. I can't say I'm not going to recommend it. So, Ron, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna here's my thoughts. If like at Christmas time, sometimes when you're buying gifts for somebody else, I'm gonna maybe give a thumbs down on the Xeno and the FEMI because of the customer return issue. If it's for a gift, especially for a gift for a loved ones. But if but at Christmas time, you buy a lot of stuff for yourself, everything. But if you're buying for yourself, then I give you a whole different rating. If you're buying the Xeno or the FEMA for yourself, and you know the risk going in. You know that this may happen. There's not maybe I won't say the big chance to happen, but there is a chance it's happening. So you know the risk. I think they're both good buys. In fact, probably the Xeno is a little bit better value than the Mini. And the FEMA, I'm going to point to the Mavic Pro because it's the closest thing I have to the FEMA X8. It offers, it offers a lot more than the Mini has. So, but again, if you're buying for yourself, I recommend both of them. If you're buying for a loved one on Christmas, I'd go with the other drones you see here, the Mini and the Paradinafi.
Marcus, your thoughts?
Yeah. So listen, I'm not going to be quite as severe as Ron. Like the FEMA, when I had that crash, boy, they were in touch with me the whole time. And in fact, on Facebook, they put me in touch with their support staff. They were willing to send me another drone, and that was very early on. And in fact, I know people like Kolsky, they have sent them replacement drones. Oh, Gorilla Man, they sent him a replacement drone as well. So it's not like they don't have any customer service. And I think Hubsan, in fact, I know Hubsan has sent people replacement drones too. Kolsky got one, etc., working through their tech department. So it's not completely out of the question.
Right.
Although
I just want to stop you just for a second, Marcus, but it's not.
Well, let me finish, Ron. Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead. I just don't want to not get back to this. Go ahead, finish. I would say all that probably didn't happen in a couple of days. It didn't. Okay, you get a bad Mavic Mini on Christmas Day. So your loved one, you return to Best Buy the next day and get them a good one, right? Okay, if you get a bad this on Christmas Day, and you have to contact them, is it a week? Is it a month? Is it 2 months or whatever before you actually have the working model in your hand?
Okay, I'm done.
Well, okay, and I think just as the point here, and I'm just going to say this, and then we'll move on to the next drone. Bear in mind, this is if Ron made a good point, if you're buying it for yourself versus buying it for a Christmas gift, and and just for me, okay, I would probably buy both the Xeno. I'm going to wait probably for the Xeno too. And, that FEMA is looking awfully attractive. And if I have some extra money, I'd probably end up buying that. But we're going to move on to the next drone here. Okay. Now, this one, I believe all of us have owned it at this time. I'm not sure about Ron, but I'm pretty sure Marcus has. The DJI Rise Tello. Okay. Currently, right now, it's $79 on DJI.com, and probably some other retailers too have it at about that price. It is under $100. So, gentlemen, your thoughts on the Rise Tello?
It's a nice toy. I've flown mine all of once, and I know a lot of people like those kind of drones. I'm just not into toy drones. I think it's right. It's DJI quality. It's a great product, and if you like tooling around inside your house and for kids, yeah, I think it's awesome. And there again, you get that DJI quality and customer service.
Ron.
I've always been intrigued by the Tello, and I've always avoided buying it for no other reason than I thought, well, I'd have it and I'd fly it for a little while and I'd never fly it again. But I think it'd be a good holiday gift because, again, you pick it up at Best Buy, you can take it back, So no, I'd recommend it for a first-time drone user or a younger person. I don't know what the age is you should get somebody a drone, but the younger end of the drone range, I think it's again, I've never flown it, but I've seen too many videos to even talk about when people have flying it. And again, it seems like good drone. Bill, you had to tell for sure.
Yes, I did. My good friend Ian Jones from over in Southeast England, when we met, he got that for me as a gift, and I enjoyed it. It was very easy to get up in the air, and I think it's probably a great drone for, I would say, like around 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds. Okay. Because I think the Mavic Mini, and we'll talk about that in a minute, I think you probably want to be a little bit older than 10, but I think this is the perfect drone for someone who's very young. One of the things I can say, it does take fantastic still pictures. I cannot be more impressed with still pictures. The video quality on it leaves a lot to be desired, of course, because there's no image stabilization, nothing like that. You know, it is a stable drone when it takes off. It will hover in place. It does have the optical flow sensor on the bottom. So, you know, all in all, for $79, I think for an entry level drone, I think it's a good Christmas gift, especially, you know, for like a teenager, somebody who wants to learn to fly. You can end up getting a controller to use with it. So I give it a thumbs up. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one here. Now, this is something that is near and dear to all of us right now, without a doubt. Okay, the Mavic Mini. Okay, yeah, we have seen our share of the Mavic Mini, all three of us. And Marcus, your thoughts? I know you were the one who probably had to wait the most to get yours.
Well, I actually, mine ended up only being a day late. I ended up with it on the 12th. And kudos to Best Buy. They actually overnighted it from their warehouse in Kentucky or something like that. You know, my only gripe was I wish they'd have communicated a little bit better. But that said, what a phenomenal piece of technology. DJI always just blows us away. And the darn thing, when you have it in the air, and I'm not talking about on a windy day, because we all know it's not as powerful of a drone, but when you have that thing in the air, often it flies like its bigger brother, the Mavic 2. That's how the sticks feel. That's how precise it flies. And you know, the camera, nobody's ever going to confuse it with the Mavic 2 Pro, but it takes damn good video. And the point is that it is a drone that if you buy it and you don't like it, you can take it back to Best Buy. You can buy it at the Apple Store. The Apple Store will take it back. And of course, DJI has customer service as well. So yeah, what's not to like about that guy? And the price point, I think, is perfect for that product.
Yeah, good comments, Marcus. And I saw our buddy DeMarco Moore asked in the chat whether the Tello had GPS, and you answered it didn't, but correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't that have the what do you call it? The sensors where it keeps it in place?
That optical flow.
It has the optical flow, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, in the house, it's amazingly stable. I mean, it's phenomenal. Yeah,
it's a better indoor drone, huh?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And I know we moved on to the Mini, but back to Bill's thing about the camera. I imagine the camera quality again doesn't compare to the other DJI drones, but in that price range of under $100 drones is probably one of the leaders in camera quality. Is under $100. Would that be a fair assessment?
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah. But back to the Mini. I agree with everything, basically Marcus said about the Mini. Again, I pretty much agree with everything he said. How about camera? Let's do this. Have camera quality. You have all three. Do you think the Mini is significantly better or worse than the Xeno or the Fimi X8? And we know it doesn't have 4K, but besides the 4K issue.
So Ron, that's great. I'm glad you brought that up, because you know who just put up a great video on that?
Who?
Was Gorilla Man.
Gorilla Man.
Yeah, and he flew all three of them, and he flew them all three in the same spot. It was one of the best comparisons of the video for me. And you know what? That little Mini is way sharper than the other two. The video is sharper. Now the color is flatter, right? It isn't as saturated as either the X8 or the Xeno. But when you look at the detail that comes out of that 2.7K, it's amazing, and is even more impressive about that drone.
And I see we have our video master, Ethan Mitchell, in the house with us tonight, just to let Ethan know that of the three drones, only the Fimi X8 has a log profile for somebody that really wants to get in there and put the video through its paces in a Final Cut or Premiere, where the Xeno and the Mini don't have like a log profile. But so that's one thing in there. But yeah, I don't have the Fimi X8, but the Zeno and the Mavic Mini video, they're both good. I mean, I don't know which one I'm going to tell you is better. Again, throwing out that the Mini doesn't have 4K. Here's Marcus. Here's a question that I want to ask you. Picture, not video, but just picture wise. To me, the pictures in the Mini are far superior than the pictures you get out of the Zeno.
Oh, the Zeno for sure. I don't know that I've ever seen a comparison with the Fimi, so I can't answer that one. But absolutely, the Zeno's pictures. I think, Ron, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's just a video screenshot is all you get, right?
I've never heard any quote expert ever clarify that for us, whether it's actually picture screwing up. But of course, the Fimi is actually a real picture, right?
Yeah.
And I know you don't do a lot of pictures. Have you snapped the Fimi X8 picture to say it's good, bad, average?
Ron, I did take some. Remember the one, there was a flight I did out over the canyon with it where I wanted to shoot a panorama and it didn't work. So I took some pictures with it, but they must not have been that impressive or I would have remembered them. Right. So
right.
I guess I don't know.
Good answer.
Well,
okay, we've been hogging it, Bill. What are your opinions on the little Mini?
Well, on the little Mini, I gotta say this. Okay, there's some things. The number one for me is portability. I mean, I had this up to Ohio. It was in my overnight bag. Okay, and the case that I got was fantastic for it. And again, I want to thank Barry Markowitz and GPC for letting me have this case. And I gotta say, for the price for this, I think it's $54.95. This is a fantastic case. But the one that DJI gives you is the one that I use because I didn't have that, and it was fantastic. Okay, it was absolutely fantastic. What blew me away was, I think the flight that blew me away was when I came home and Valerie said, it's like tonight was one of those nights, but it was too late. It already got too dark. It was like a great sunset. So literally in 3 minutes, I was up in the air with the Mini, and that just absolutely blew me away. The quality of the video that came back that night, Valerie's looking at it. It's like, wow. I mean, it's just like really, really incredible. Now, Ethan put a comment in here, and I wanted to go ahead and read this. The Mavic Mini footage is crazy, over sharpened, and contrast is cranked up. He's probably right on that. But I got to tell you this, for what you get, the bang for the buck, as they say, can't be beat for this drone for $399 for what you get. And especially if you get the Fly More kit with the 3 extra batteries, the charging bank that you can use as a charger itself. You also get the prop guards, which I think is a must inside. And especially for those brand new drone owners on Christmas morning, yeah, you're going to want those prop guards, whether you're flying inside or outside. That's it. It's a huge thumbs up. It's a huge win for DJI. And this is going to be under a lot of trees this Christmas. That's what I have to say. So a big thumbs up for me on this one, on the Mavic Mini.
Bill, your quote of what Ethan said in the chat there, basically Ethan's right, but also all the things Ethan said is kind of what video on social media is expected to look like.
Yeah, that's a very good point, because people want to see that, especially. But in one of the things that I have to say about that, and that's a good point, Ron, is that Facebook dumbs down stuff big time. Okay, I've taken some fantastic photos with my Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. I mean, it's just like night photos, and they're just like popping, and it's just fantastic. You go out on Facebook, and Facebook sometimes dumbs them down a little bit, and it's not as sharp as it really is in real life. So
no doubt. But yeah, all the social media, like Instagram, all that stuff, they want that high contrast, over sharpened, oversaturated pictures and video. That's just what's popular there. So I think DJI took that into account. I think they made this drone knowing they were going to, hope not knowing, but thinking they were going to sell it to young people that were doing a lot of social media. So they tuned it for them. But unfortunately,
little did they know it was all old guys like us.
Old guys like that. You have Mark is exactly right.
Question of the day: which of these drones is on your Christmas list? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like the content from today's video, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and tell others about the channel. Also be sure to check out my Facebook page where I do post daily updates regarding the drone and drone industry and anything DJI, Autel, or Parrot related. Also be sure to check out my Twitter account where I do post daily updates, and Instagram as well. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.